2.09 Syntax and Voice. Engage your reader or bore your reader. The choice is yours. Knowledge is power. The power of varied sentence structure and active voice shall be yours as you learn how to make your writing more interesting. Assignment. At the end of this lesson, you will show off your new power by revising a body paragraph or section of your article to improve structure and voice. Why do we need syntax? Syntax words in text creates patterns of. The can completely change order of the words, or you are trying to confuse the meaning to express you use. Those sentences do not make sense. Why? What is syntax? Syntax is the order of words in a sentence. It sounds like a simple concept, and it is, but it's a very important one. Syntax creates patterns of words in text. The order of the words you use can completely change or confuse the meaning you're trying to express. Normal or regular syntax follows this pattern: subject, verb, object. Select the highlighted words to learn more. I shopped at the mall. I is the subject. Shopped is the verb. At the mall is the object. Consider the sound and meaning of the sentence when you change the syntax. At the mall, I shopped. Deviations from normal syntax like this one sound and feel strange. You usually would not write this way. However, there are ways to vary your syntax that do sound appropriate and help to hold the reader's interest. Let's focus on 4 ways to combine sentences and vary your syntax. Combine verbs, combine subjects, make a compound sentence, make a complex sentence. Keep it simple. Combine verbs. A simple sentence has one or more subjects and a verb. It is an independent clause because it expresses a complete thought. Independent clause, a group of words with a subject and a verb that forms a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. When you have 2 short sentences with the same subject, you can combine the verbs and maintain one simple sentence. Simple sentences do not need commas. Example, the 2 short sentences. My friend reads too much online. My friend posts too much online. Let's combine the verbs. My friend reads and posts online too much. My friend is the subject. Reads and posts are the 2 verbs. And online too much is what they're doing. The second way to change your syntax, keep it simple, combine subjects. Perhaps instead of having 2 sentences with the same subject, you have 2 with the same verb action. In this case, you can often combine the subjects and keep the simple sentence format. Remember, simple sentences do not need commas. Here's the example. 2 short sentences. President Obama used social media in his campaign. Mitt Romney used social media in his campaign. Let's combine these subjects. President Obama and Mitt Romney used social media in their campaigns. President Obama and Mitt Romney are the 2 subjects. Used is the verb. Combine verbs, combine sentences. Select the correct way to combine verbs and subjects and then select Submit. Select Next to go to the next question. Online stores serve customers 24 hours a day. Online stores process orders 24 hours a day. Which of the following combines these 2 sentences correctly? Make a compound sentence. You could also combine related simple sentences to form a compound sentence. A compound sentence is two simple sentences joined by a coordinating conjunction. That is, a word such as and, or, so, but, etc., that connects similar sentence elements. It retains the wording from the original sentences. You can remember the 7 coordinating conjunctions using the acronym FANBOYS. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. A comma is required before the conjunction. Let's look at these 2 short sentences. My friend prefers Facebook. I prefer Grom Social. Let's combine these sentences. My friend prefers Facebook, comma, and I prefer Grom Social. My friend prefers Facebook is the simple sentence number 1. There's a comma after it, and is the conjunction, and I prefer Grom Social is the simple sentence number 2. Make a complex sentence. A complex sentence is a simple sentence combined with a dependent clause, a group of words with a subject and verb that does not express a complete thought. Use a subordinating conjunction to connect the 2 ideas. Subordinating conjunction, a word that connects an independent clause and a dependent clause. This strategy works well when one sentence depends on the condition set by another. Let's view a list of subordinating conjunctions. After, although, even though, once, provided that, since, so, unless. A comma is required between the simple sentence and the dependent clause. Let's look at some examples. Here are 2 short sentences. My friend spends too much time online. Then my friend gets headaches. Let's combine these sentences into a complex sentence. When my friend spends too much time online, comma, she gets headaches. When my friend spends too much time online is the dependent clause. That is, that it cannot stand on its own. She gets headaches is a simple sentence. I can combine them into one full complex sentence. To those who combine too much. Knowing the correct ways to combine sentences is useful even if you have the opposite writing challenge. Too many long sentences or run-ons. That's where 2 or more independent clauses combine without appropriate punctuation or a conjunction. Reading your work aloud is an effective tool to find those pesky run-on sentences. If you find a long sentence that has multiple thoughts that run together and don't make sense, you can make your sentence a perfectly communicated thought by turning it into one of the following. Let's look at these 2 simple sentences. Add 2 end punctuation marks to make simple sentences. One simple sentence. Combine the subjects or the verbs to make one simple sentence. Compound sentence. Join 2 complete sentences using a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Complex sentence. Join a dependent clause and an independent clause with a comma in between them. Active or passive voice. You could use active voice rather than passive in your informational article. Active voice, a sentence where the subject of a verb is the person or thing doing the action described by the verb. Passive is a sentence where the verb describes what has been done to the sentence object. How do you know the difference? The answer is simple, although finding it in your own writing may not be at first. With a few examples, you soon will be identifying and correcting passive voice in your writing like a pro. Active voice. Select each tab to learn more. In active voice, the subject is the one doing the action. Examples. She borrowed my smartphone. He created a new puzzle app. Albert Einstein wrote a letter to discourage use of the atomic bomb. Passive voice. In passive voice, the object receives the action from the subject. My smartphone was borrowed by her. The puzzle app was created by him. The letter to discourage the use of the atomic bomb was written by Albert Einstein. Is passive voice wrong? No, it's not the passive voice. It's not that passive voice is incorrect way to write. It's actually quite useful in politics and fiction. However, passive sentences tend to be wordy, awkward, and vague. They can confuse your reader. Since you are writing to inform, it's best to find passive voice in your writing and rewrite it so that it is in active voice. A great clue to passive voice is the word by. Another way to find passive voice is to identify the subject and object in your sentence. Then identify whether the subject is doing the action or whether the object is receiving the action. Here's an example. A letter to encourage the research was written in part by Einstein in 1939. Was written. Notice the form to be in the verb. That makes it passive. So, which sentence is the best rephrasing in active voice? A letter to encourage the research Einstein wrote in part in 1939. Does this sound anything like you would hear people say? Not if they wanted to be clearly understood. Einstein in 1939 encouraged research in a letter written in part by him in 1939. Try reading that out loud. It seems a little awkward and confusing. In 1939, Einstein wrote a part of a letter to encourage the research. There is no to be verb here, which means it's active, clear, and easy to read. To recap, you should be familiar with revising your work for syntax and active voice. Syntax. There are 4 ways to combine sentences. Number 1. Combine verbs. 2. Combine subjects. 3. Make a compound sentence. 4. Make a complex sentence. Voice. Identifying active and passive voice. Revise passive voice to make it active. What is my assignment for this lesson? Click Instructions. You will revise one body paragraph from your informational article. Then you will write a reflection on the changes you made. You will submit the original paragraph, the revised paragraph, and the reflection paragraph.